Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's episode, we are going to learn about chess trap. These chess trap are important because A. You can win a game in few moves, and B. If your opponent is trying to play this chess trap against you, then you can simply defend yourself because you know the line. So let's start with the video. And before starting the video, please like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Let's start with Draxler counter attack. It starts with pawn to e4, pawn to e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to c4, knight to f6. So, if your opponent tries for fried liver attack, it always frustrates. And here, your obvious move is always pawn to d5. Instead, what you do now is move your bishop to c5, ignoring the fried liver. So, if your opponent forks your queen and a rook, you simply sacrifice your bishop. After takes, you can give a check with the knight. And in this position, here a different legal move where the opponent can move his king. So, what if he moves his king to e1? Then you can simply give a check. If your opponent move his king like f1, then it's a checkmate. But if he defend with the pawn, then after this we can simply win a rook and a queen. But here, if your opponent move his king to e2, then you can simply give a check. If he move like this, then it's the same. Give a check. Like this. That's the same process. But here, if your opponent move his king like this, then after this, he can capture the knight. Then you can simply fork and win a queen. What if your opponent move his king to g1? Here you simply move your queen to s4. If he move the other move like knight to this, then you can simply give a check mate. But obviously your opponent will try to attack the queen. After this, here and here the legal move is here. So here you move your rook to f8 for the future attack. In this position, your opponent might try to protect his knight. Here you move your pawn to d5. If it takes, then you simply move your knight to g4, preparing for the rook capture. Move your knight to b4, preparing, giving the attack, trying to attack the bishop or for the future rook capture. So your opponent might try to save from the rook capture, and here you play this. After it captures the knight, you can simply move and attack and capture the knight. If it takes, then you simply up a queen. But if he moves his queen to e2, then you can simply fork the queen and the king. and you win a queen. So it is with the Traxler counter attack, and we'll discuss about this attack in future in detail. Let's start with Karukan Cheststrap. So if you are playing with white and your opponent is playing the Karukan defense, you can simply trap your opponent. So obviously, so the Karukan start with pawn to e4. Black moving is pawn to c6. You move your knight to c3. After pawn to d5, move your queen to e2. If your opponent tries and capture the pawn, then you simply recapture back by knight. Here, your opponent might not move his knight to f6 because after this, it's a double of pawn. So, if your opponent move his knight to d7, then it's a checkmate. If he move his bishop to d7, it's also a checkmate. So here the idea is, if your opponent blocks his king and queen, then you can simply smother mate your opponent. Let's start with the legal trap. It starts with pawn to e4, pawn to e5, knight to f3, knight to f6, bishop to c4, and if your opponent move his pawn to d6, then he might be in big trouble. Here you move your knight to c3, bishop to g4, you attack the bishop with pawn, takes, and in the future you can give a checkmate, but it is not possible because your opponent is not that dumb. Sometimes beginners are dumb, like me, we play a dumb move, but most of the time your opponent are not dumb. So in this position, if your opponent move his bishop like this, then you simply capture the pawn at d5, and here your opponent might be happy and capture your queen. If he does this, then he is in serious trouble. Here you give a check. The only legal move is to move his king to e7, and in the next move it's a checkmate. Let's start with the simple and yet effective, the scholar mate. Some of you might think, what a noob, is he 100 elo chess that is describing the scholar mate? But believe me, when I was at elo 600 to 700, I have fallen in this trap many times. So if any viewer who are noob like me, then you can simply learn this trap. So let's start. Pawn to e4, pawn to e5, bishop to c4, knight to c6, queen to s5, and knight to f6, attacking the queen. And in the next move, it's a checkmate. So folks, if you are playing with black and your opponent plays the line like this, then your move must be pawn to g6, queen to s3, then do not move any silly move like this, because in the next move it's still a checkmate. Here block with the knight, and after this you are good to go with the game. So this is with the video. If you like the video, please give a like, comment down below, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and see you in the next one. Thank you.